Okay, passive versus active voice. Does word order matter as much in Italian as it does in English? Italian generally follows the SVO or subject verb object construction, just like in English. However, the word order is much more fluid and flexible than it is in English. Italians will often put the words they want to emphasize most at the beginning or end of a sentence. Okay, because what do we remember most? We usually remember the beginning of what somebody says or the end. So they tend to put the most important words at the beginning and the end of a sentence. Okay, what does active and passive voice mean? I don't know if you remember this from school or not, but we were always taught that it's more proper to use the active voice in English, but in Italian, it's kind of the opposite. Okay, so in English, our teachers always told us to use an active voice when possible, meaning that the subject of the sentence is the person or thing actively performing the action. In Italian, it's very common and correct to use the passive voice, meaning that the subject is placed after the verb and the past participle of the verb is used with a conjugated form of essere, which means to be. Okay, so let's give you an example here. Oops. Yeah, okay, so how do you construct a sentence in the passive voice? Okay, so here's an example of the active voice. So an active sentence would be, I eat the apple. Oh, in English. Okay, I eat the apple. So the subject is doing the action. Okay, I would be the subject. Eat is the verb. Okay, that's the action. The apple is the direct object. Okay, in Italian, you would say io mangio la mela. Io, I, eat, mangio, la mela, the apple. If instead you turn it into a passive voice sentence, you would say in English, the apple is eaten by me. Okay, so then the subject becomes the apple. The apple is the subject instead of I. Okay, is eaten by me. So la mela è mangiata da me. La mela è mangiata da me. Okay, now at the beginning, because you're not familiar with the past participle yet, this is probably very foreign to you, but don't worry about it. I just want to expose you to it a little bit here at the beginning, and so that you slowly become familiar with it as you learn more Italian. Okay, active voice, another example. She writes the letter. Lei scrive la lettera. Lei scrive la lettera. She writes the letter, okay, actively, because she is writing the letter. She is the subject of the sentence. In the passive voice, the letter is written by her. La lettera è scritta da lei. Okay, la lettera è scritta da lei. Okay, you'll get it. Don't worry. Just as you learn a little bit here and there, it will become more and more familiar the more you see it, and that's just how we learn stuff. Okay, so at first it might be really confusing, and that's totally okay. So just go with it.